Russia has TV shows, not a huge shock to anybody. They have a Sunday night panel show called Sunday Evening with Vladimir Solovyov. This past Sunday, Russian politician Vyacheslav Nikonov, who's a member of the Duma, which is the Russian parliamentary body, said pretty casually that Russian intelligence stole the presidency of the United States in 2016. You'd think, wait a second, we would have heard more about that, but most news outlets were doing wall-to-wall coverage of the hurricane. Nikonov's statement was first noticed by Julie Davis. Julie Davis runs a pretty critical of Russia media monitoring site known as Russia Lies. And I could play the clip for you. Most of our audience doesn't speak Russian, and we don't know how aggressive Russian media is with YouTube copyright claims. So we're going to skip the clip, but you can find it if you go looking for it. And someone in Russia saying this is something that should make news, but it didn't in the US. It's not proof of anything. Putin and the Kremlin have been pretty much denying these allegations for a long time. But the fact that a Russian politician mentioned so casually, sort of as part of like a broader conversation that's going on, as kind of like an obvious admission, like, well, yeah, Russian intelligence did steal the American presidential election. If their goal was to throw America into chaos, then they're doing a really good job of it. And whether this is something that they would say as a lie in order to cause more chaos, we don't really know. But at this point, Pat, consider the various positions of different parties on Russian meddling in the election. Now, this is a different question than did Trump criminally collude with Russia? That's not the
that's
question.
stage 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly. The question is Russian meddling in the election. Democrats in Congress say Russia meddled in the election. Many Republicans in Congress concede that Russia meddled in the election. Separate question from whether Trump colluded. The intelligence community is unanimous that Russia meddled in the election. We even have a Russian politician saying Russia meddled in the election. And yet you still have Trump supporters saying, oh, it's fake news.
Well, I think they hear that and just feel like, well, I'm not going to trust some random politicians.
Oh, no.
Or I'm not going to trust the intelligence community because they deceived us when it came to Iraq, or they're notorious for setting up dictatorial regimes in developing countries. So I can understand that to some extent. But then on the other side of the coin, who are you siding with? People like Vladimir Putin, people like Donald Trump, who was so easily convinced by Putin and actually wanted to set up some voting integrity commission, some international commission after they got out of a meeting at the G20.
Look at this other thing over here. Here's a new shiny thing for everybody to focus on. Don't pay attention to all the stuff that's happening. Remember, Russia's #1 objective is weaken the U.S., make the U.S. look more ridiculous and less powerful on the world stage. And I was thinking again about Brave New World versus 1984. Neil Postman once wrote, what Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Aldous Huxley, author of Brave New World, feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one. Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information. Huxley feared those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egoism. Orwell feared that the truth would be concealed from us. Huxley feared the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. Orwell feared we would become a captive culture. Huxley feared we would become a trivial culture. This and the Russia stuff and the fake news nonsense from Trump, this is why I believe what we are living through is much more like Brave New World than it is 1984. The video you just watched was made possible by support from you. Please go to patreon.com/David Pakman Show. You can make a pledge of as little as $1 per month. And every dollar helps to support the work that we're doing, particularly in light of the YouTube ad boycott, which has been really bad.